That's what I'm looking at. Indictment number 14 GS 46 1878. Sentence of the court is 23 years, $15,000 fine. Good luck to you.
After I quit smoking, within about a week, I held my breath for 40 seconds longer. I tried quitting smoking several times before I started freediving, but after seeing my father die and seeing what lung cancer does, you become much more aware of your breath and what your breath can do, so you take it much less for granted. If you're lucky and you're relaxed enough, you can kind of dissolve in the ocean and you become part of
A young woman accused of killing her 3 friends while driving drunk learned the consequences of her action today. Bill O'Neill was in the court when Amanda Sperduti learned her fate, and here's his report.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm just so sorry.
Amanda Sperduti apologizes to the family and friends of the 3 people she killed in a drunken driving accident. The 21-year-old from Winston-Salem, a graduate of Mount Tabor High School, had a blood alcohol level more than twice the legal limit. Lab results also found marijuana in her system the night of the crash.
I suffer from it every day of my life. I'm so messed up. I suffer from this every single day of my life. I will for the rest of my life.
The victim's family told the court they'll never forget what happened either. Walter Bedwell lost his 23-year-old son, Scott, in the crash. During his emotional testimony, he never took his eyes off the defendant, Amanda Sperduti.
You can still talk to your mother. You can cry with your mother. Eventually, you'll laugh with your mother. I cannot. I want to hug my boy.
Sandra Rumley lost her 18-year-old granddaughter, Taylor McCaskill, in the crash.
My life has been changed forever.
The grieving grandmother told the court she'll never have grandchildren because of that accident.
And Lord, I know you can't possibly need Taylor as much as her mother and I did.
Sonia Hardy lost her 18-year-old daughter, Sasha Hoffman, in the wreck.
We had the typical mother and daughter issues, and like all teenagers and their parents, we would quarrel over simple things. And I would give anything to argue with her again.
Sperduti, who cried during all of the testimony, broke down and sobbed after hearing Hardy.
The evidence you shall give to the court in the case now being heard shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so be done.
Amanda Sperduti will spend the next 7 to 12 years in state prison. And I got to tell you, Wanda, the folks in the courtroom, both the victims' families as well as the Sperduti family and their family and friends, were all shocked by the sentence here. Many of them believe that it would be much shorter in its length, not the 7 to 12 years that the Wilkes County judge Edgar Winters had given out here today. Very surprising verdict. And the folks for the families' victims say they're very happy with that verdict or that sentence as it was handed down today.
I'm curious, Bill, was there any interaction between Sperduti's family and the victim's family?
Between the various families.
There is other news today. He shot and killed Twinsburg police officer Josh McTarian, and now he will die for his crime. That was the sentence today delivered to 25-year-old Ashford Thompson. News Channel 5's John Cossack was there as McTarian's widow spoke following the sentence.
I feel like a weight's been lifted off my shoulders.
Holly McTarian speaks publicly for the first time about the emotions she feels knowing that Ashford Thompson, the man who shot and killed her husband Josh during a traffic stop in 2008, will die for his crime.
Just a sense of relief. It really was. It's not. You can't really be happy and you can't be sad. I mean, it was a sense of relief, I think. I could just let it all off my shoulders now.
In court, Holly called Thompson a monster for shooting her husband 4 times in the head. She refused to make eye contact with him during the trial.
I didn't want to look at him. He didn't deserve the respect for me to look at him. I heard his words, but they didn't affect me in that way. Not at all. You don't do what you did to a human being. There's no remorse for that. How can there be?
She says every day brings reminders of Josh, not the least of which being their now 2.5-year-old daughter, Thea.
Thank God for her. She's kept me smiling, but even looking at her, I see him, obviously, and it's not easy.
But it was Holly who brought levity to this day when asked the condition of Baggio, Josh's canine partner, who was retired when Josh was killed and lives with them.
He's a true man in retirement. He has gained a couple pounds, and he's asking for a home in Florida, but he's doing good.
John Cossack, News Channel.
You just cannot. People keep dying. You can't get in your car and think it can't happen to you.
Also this noon, a judge laid down the maximum sentence for a terrible accident that killed an 8-year-old Buffalo boy. News 4's Alina Shapiro joins us live from the newsroom with more on today's sentencing. Alina.
Yeah, Victoria, this morning's sentencing turned into a heated exchange between the judge and one of the defendants. At first, 21-year-old Levon Turrentine stood quietly before State Supreme Court Judge William Bowler, awaiting his fate. He had pleaded guilty to second-degree vehicular manslaughter for his role in a tragic accident in April of last year that took the life of 8-year-old Tunami Filbert. Officials say Turrentine was teaching 18-year-old Brianna Hightower how to drive when she struck the boy as he ran across Porter Avenue in Buffalo. Hightower didn't have a license at the time. For some reason, after the accident, the passenger and driver switched seats, and when Turrentine was behind the wheel, he somehow struck the boy again, killing him. Turrentine was released on bail initially, but this morning we learned that he was arrested again recently for possession of marijuana and driving the same vehicle with a suspended license. The judge wasn't happy.
I told you you were not supposed to drive. So what it tells me is one bad decision after the another. You didn't learn anything. You violated the law again by driving the same car that you already killed somebody with. You were not supposed to be behind that wheel.
It's not like I was joyriding or anything, Your Honor. I just went to the Chinese place to get me and my kids something to eat.
Did I release you on bail to say that it was on the condition you don't joyride?
And the courtroom fireworks did not end there. You'll hear more tonight on News 4 at 5. Meantime, Turrentine was given the maximum sentence and could
caught on tape an extraordinary courtroom outburst.
Not from the you stab until he was dead.
This judge unleashing on convicted murderer Camilla Gamet, the 31-year-old in court being sentenced after a Michigan jury found her guilty of killing her boyfriend.
Also remember the cries of help that he screamed as you plunged that knife in and out of his body.
Gamet smirking, laughing, and rolling her eyes as the victim's family testified, setting Judge John McBain off.
And you're going to shut your mouth or I'm going to have some duct tape put on it.
Well, he attacked
All right, we'll wait here for a moment till we can get her quiet.
Some questioning his extreme reaction.
Judges are supposed to be above that to some degree. They're supposed